welcome to Gray Zone Therapy. I'm Marcus. You might remember me from such couples videos as Look Ma, No Hands, Raising Evil Knievel, and Spending Our Way Out of Problems. What could possibly go wrong? So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 ways to improve your relationship with your significant other. And these are, number 1, avoid testing your partner. Number 2, sharing your feelings, which means, of course, you yourself have to be able to identify it in order to share it. And then number 3, having a budget that you are both informed about. So let's start with number 1, not testing your partner. One of the things that can happen, particularly if one or both parties have had bad experiences, is they will give little tests to their partner to either prove to themselves that their partner really does love them and wants to stay around, or to try and look for the possibility that their partner doesn't want to be there, right? So they're just testing, they're just pushing just a little bit here and there because they want proof. So this is problematic for 2 reasons. One, the issue that you're looking to resolve fundamentally is your own trust of your partner, right? So your testing your partner isn't going to address your trust issues. So it's an ineffective strategy because procedurally, you're not actually working on the thing that you need to work on. Number 2, on some level, your partner is going to feel these tests. They're going to feel that they are not trusted, which of course, on some level, they are not because you don't trust them. That's why you're testing them, to try and prove whatever it is. So number 1, avoid testing. So what you want to do is address your difficulties with trust. Now, there are many ways that we can actually build trust. These are some things that are commonly related to positivity, sharing fondness and admiration, sharing your actual thoughts and fears, also responding to your partner, right? It can build your trust of your partner when A, they share their feelings with you, but also B, when you share your feelings with them. Now that is, of course, scary. That's one of the reasons why we sometimes try to avoid it. However, research shows very clearly that when you are vulnerable with somebody else, they tend to be vulnerable in kind, and then that builds the trust when they show you their vulnerability as well, and when they didn't step on your feelings and emotions. However, to get there, you have to share your feelings. So that's how you build trust. You share the nice things about your partner. Say nice things to and about your partner. Now getting back to that sharing your feelings, right? That was number 2 on the ways to improve the relationship. One of the things that we often do, as I mentioned, was we don't share our feelings. This is problematic because then 1, our partner doesn't know what we're actually thinking and feeling. 2, if we don't share how we're actually experiencing things, then they can't possibly respond to us in a positive manner because they don't know what we're actually thinking. So we have to be truthful and honest in order for this to work. Also, you have to recognize yourself, what it is that you're feeling. It's kind of hard to share something that you don't know what it is, right? So this might take a little bit of effort and work. You might have to see a therapist, or you might have to, get some of those self-help books, or simply just do some thinking. What is it that I'm feeling? And try and name it as a feeling. If I'm going to name a feeling, and I say I'm feeling, the next word must be a feeling word. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling helpless. I'm feeling worried. It can't be I feel that my partner. As soon as we put the word that after I feel, what happens is we actually get into a thought. We don't get into a feeling. So in order to identify your feelings, try saying I'm feeling, and then the next word must be a feeling. So I'm going to throw up a feeling chart here so you can see what I'm talking about. This is something that I often hand out to couples. And then the third piece, having a budget that both parties are informed of. Now, one of the things that often happens in a relationship is we each take on different individual tasks, partly because we might believe that we are good at it, and so we will try and take this burden on for our partner. Now, finances tends to be one of those things where one party is better with money than the other, and so one party tends to then take over the finances. This is problematic because when there are problems in a relationship, money is always one of the top 2. Now, research says it's one of the top 3. My experience as a therapist tells me that it's always one of the top 2, and more than 50% of the time, it's the top 1 problem in a relationship is finances. And what I've seen is it often boils down to at least one person simply doesn't know where the finances are, so that's their complaint. Well, I don't know where the finances are. I don't know what he or she is doing. And yet they've put themselves in that position usually because, well, they're better at the money. So they're creating their own problem, they're complaining about it, but they're also giving the power to the partner. So knowing the budget, understanding the budget, and keep it simple. So a budget is typically comprised of two components. One is the income, and the other is the expenses. Now, to write out a budget, you want it to look something like this. And I'm going to try and pull this from a previous video I think I did. So you have your income on one side, and you want to break that down by every paycheck so that you know when it comes in so you can pace it out. Then you have your expenses. And if you're going to break your budget down further, there are three categories for expenses. So one is the fixed expenses. This tends to be things like your mortgage and your car insurance. Then the remaining two categories are needs and wants. So needs are your required expenses, but possibly the ones that are variable, such as the cost of gas for the car, your food, your internet bill. And then the wants. Now this is the hard one because we often don't recognize our wants. We often tend to recognize wants as needs incorrectly. But needs would be things like our Netflix subscription, our home phone line, our cable bill, entertainment expenses, our coffee every day going to work, things of that nature. So those are wants. Now the important thing is that after you put this in, with the variable ones, you want to choose an average. And depending on your financial adversity, you might want to choose an average that's slightly on the higher side so that you know you won't go over. So then you have these two numbers. You have your total income and your total expenses. And then when you subtract the expenses from the income, you know either how much money you have left over, or if you have less money left over, then you know how much you're short. Now keep in mind, if you're saving money, this also needs to go into the budget as well. And depending on how much money you have, this could go into either fixed expenses or in wants. Now you should save money. However, when money is tight, you don't need savings. You need to be able to pay the grocery bill. So keep that in mind. So you've got your two totals there. And that's important for knowing where your money is going. And it's important that both people know how much money is coming in, how much is going out, and where it is going. So there's some variability here on how you do it, but the important part is that you both know how much money is coming in and going out so that you can rest easy. So that you as the person, even if you're the person who's not good at finances, you can know how much money is coming in and out, which is very important. So to summarize, the three ways to improve your relationship: build trust instead of testing. Stay away from testing. The procedure, the process doesn't work psychologically, and it will have the opposite effect that you intend. So work on the trust instead of testing your partner. Share your feelings, and frankly, share them as soon as possible. You want to have an open dialogue. Now, a caveat here is you also need to be willing to hear and listen to your partner's feelings. In order to share feelings, it must go both ways. And then number three, having a known budget between you two. That reduces financial insecurity, this reduces questions, this reduces anxiety, anger, frustration, and conflict. So that's everything. Thank you for watching. And if you've noticed a different video quality, I've got some different equipment I'm trying out, so I apologize if there is any visual things I'm not noticing in editing. For example, I see a dark band right here on my monitor. I don't know if that'll come out in editing, but we'll see. So thank you very much. Take care, and we'll see you next time.